This is Jonathan Gunther. It's June 22nd, 2025. This is for FTT 100 Intro to Firearms Week 7 assignment. First, I'm going to visually and physically ensure that my SIG P365 is clear of any ammo. So mag well is clear, barrel is clear, and physically confirm no ammunition in the magazine either. So to demonstrate the cycle of operations, I'm going to be using dummy rounds. There's a hole drilled through it, as well as no primer, so it is completely safe. So go ahead and get that loaded up. This will begin the first step, which is feeding. So we're going to insert the magazine. So as the slide moves forward, grabs the round, moves it up the feed ramp into the barrel, where it moves into chambering and then locking. So once it is locked, we'll move on to the next step, which is firing. We'll squeeze the trigger. At that point, the round would fire. Now we go to unlocking. So unlocks the barrel. The extractor grabs the round and ejects it. This all happens essentially in one movement. It's very, very quick. And then, as you can see, when the magazine is empty, it locks back to the rear. But if there was more ammo in here, then it would repeat. So it would feed a round up, it would lock again, and then you could move into cocking and then firing. So now we're gonna field strip. So all you gotta do, lock the slide to the rear. Sorry, my dog's up here. You're gonna push the takedown lever all the way down. And then you're gonna grab tightly onto the slide, ride it forward. And it's gonna break into two components, the slide and the frame. From the slide, you're gonna take out the recoil assembly spring as well as the barrel. So as you can see, it is now field stripped. Now, in the cycle of operations, in the feeding step, the magazine spring is going to push a round upward. The bullet is going to catch the feed ramp right here, and it's going to put it into place. Now, that is going to move it into the chambering, and then the barrel goes from a tilted position to an upward position, which is going to be locking. Now, in firing, when the trigger is pulled, it's very hard to see on this firearm, but when the trigger is pulled, it's going to release tension from the sear spring. The sear is going to move, releasing the hammer, which will strike the firing pin. The firing pin will strike the primer on the round will fire. Now, after that, it will unlock, and then the extractor, this bit right here, will grab the lip of the round, pull it rearward as the slide moves back, and then it will eject the casing. And after that, the slide will move forward again, it will reset the sear, and it will be ready to fire again. All right, now moving on to cleaning. I'm not going to do a real deep, thorough cleaning, just very basic overview. So I like to use a solvent. So SDI sent the Modern Spartan Systems Carbon Destroyer. So what I like to do is I'll put usually about 4 drops onto a patch, and then I'll run it through the barrel. And then again, I'm just going to run it through once because I'm not actually cleaning it. And then same with the recoil assembly, a couple drops, wipe it down with a patch, and then on the slide, you got to be careful. You don't want to get anything in the firing pin right here, because sometimes it can cause it to get a little bit gummed up, and then that's going to be a bad day. So I'll put it down at kind of an angle, wipe it down, and then moving on to the frame, I'll drop some into the fire control group. Now, if I was doing a super thorough deep clean, the P365 actually has a removable fire control group. I would more than likely remove that from the frame in order to be able to get to all of the internal components a lot easier. But we'll go back, put it all back together, do a final functions check. So start with the barrel, put the recoil spring assembly back into place. Which this firearm, one of the more finicky ones I've owned with it. So once that is back into place, same deal. You lock the slide to the rear, takedown lever automatically pops up, and then we'll do a functions check. So we'll load up a dummy round, and we'll go through and check the functions again. So we've got feeding, chambering, and locking. We got firing, unlocking, extracting, and ejecting. And then we've got cocking. All right, that concludes this week's assignment. Thank you.